Welcome back to Feast Tool Time. The time has come. We want to bring our Lymow One now into action. But before we do that, let me bring you on a quick tour around the machine to see all the sensors and stuff that the machine comes with. So let's start with the front, where we have here this bumper. When the machine bumps into something, this should stop it. Then here in the front, we have 3 ultrasonic sensors on the front and on the sides, as well as 2 very strong LED lights and 2 cameras that help the robot to navigate visually as well. If we go around here, we have on the top indicator lights. Here that's the handle, so you can lift it up. We also see here these 4 holes or caps. These are actually screws. I thought they were also sensors, but you are able to remove them, and then you can see those are essentially the screws that hold the chassis together, I believe. Here on the back we have an additional 4 ultrasonic sensors, and on the top then we have our emergency stop button and the display where I can turn off and on the machine, a home button, and the plus and minus buttons are actually for lifting the cutting deck up and down, so I can clean the machine underneath or service the blades and stuff like this. Additionally, it says here in the manual that there is a SIM card built into the device, and as you can see, it should be somewhere here at where the battery sits. And I really had trouble finding this slot before, because it's not on the face of the robot, it's really hidden, and so that you have not the same problem than me to finding that thing, I want to show it to you quickly. To access this SIM card slot, I need to remove the battery cover again. Let's put that to the side. And there we can see it. So it's underneath and not here on the battery, how it is written in the manual. So to access this, it's actually quite necessary that you put the robot on the side like I did it here. Let's remove the battery, have a look at the SIM compartment, and then also connect the robot to power. So as before, we just release the latch, and then we can pull out the battery. Here we see the connector of the battery. And now let me bring you closer to have a look at the SIM card slot here. Let's see if we can see that here on the video. So there you can see there's a USB-C port that's for troubleshooting and debugging. And you can see there's a SIM card installed. So let's try to connect the battery to the mower. I will slide it in a bit so the battery holds, and then this cable can be pulled out a little bit. It's a spring-loaded mechanism here, so I guess I have to unlock it, then try to push it in, which does work. Now it's locked back. We should have power now. Then of course I have to fix the battery back into the compartment, put back the battery cover, and that's it. So now the time has come that we want to turn the Lymow One on, which normally should work by this button. And yes, there's something happening. We have a green light. And on the display, there's a lot of reflection going on, but you can see that there is a display of 4 zeros. This is the standard pin, so whenever you start the device, you have to enter your personal pin, and it gets shipped with the standard pin 4x0. I don't want to go actually.
Let's get mowing.
Okay, well, not yet. What I first want to do is actually to lift the blades up. And I believe I can do that by just press and hold this button here. Let's see. Yes. So now we see that this front part here is moving up to actually present the underside to me, because there's one more thing that Lymow doesn't specify in the user manual, what you, I believe at least, should do before you start your first mowing. And what that is, you will see in a very brief moment. Yeah, right? I mean, those blades are covered with protective seals, protective stickers. And it's nowhere written in the manual that you should remove them before mowing. So I think that's perfect advice here at Fields Tool Time. If you purchase this robot, remove those yellow stickers first. Otherwise, we can see here already beautiful those blades, and also something that comes as an accessory. These plastic parts here can be replaced by a special one that then allows side discharge out of this hole. So whatever you prefer, you can change between the mulching option here and the side discharge. And of course we will try both. I have the feeling that maybe side discharge might be better, especially if your grass is a bit damp, but we will find all of that out later. To start our first mowing exercise here, we have to create a map within the app. And as you can see here, this is the home screen where the access to the map generation tool is very easy. But you can also see now everything is in French. And the application apparently follows the language setting of the phone. At least I could not find an individual setting for the app to set it to the language you prefer, which is quite annoying, I have to say. So, but nonetheless, let's start clicking on the creation of the map. There, that's a warning to clear out the zone of anything that's lying around. And now we are greeted by this screen here, which is essentially the position of our robot in reference to the RTK base station. And you see now like joystick-like controls, which I can use to control the robot. Let me see if that works. Ooh. And I can also turn it, I believe. Let's see if it can go back. Huh? Not bad, huh? So that's really cool. Of course, you are supposed to now do a tour of the perimeter of your zone that you want to mow. And for this, I will invite you to a quick time lapse. So now with our first small map created here, I first actually want to see if the device can find the docking station. In the setup there was really nothing that makes me set up the position of the docking station. At least I didn't see that. But since I don't read manuals, let's just try what happens if I click on return to docking station here.
Docking to recharge.
Well, let's see what happens. It's lifting the front cutting compartment. Okay. And now? Nothing.
Robot internal error.
Ah yeah. An internal error. Let's figure out what that is. Okay, I just read on Reddit that the problem here might be that there is no channel from the zone I created to the charging station. This is of course something that the app also doesn't propose really. Maybe I should have done this beginner guide in the app, so yeah. But this is easy to fix, I hope. So we just go back into the app, click the plus symbol and click canal. And now I should be able to create a canal from the map to the charging station. Let's see. And I had to move the robot a little bit to activate the relative positioning to the RTK antenna. Now that seems to work. Okay, now I'm at the edge of my map and create this canal again. That's not working. Let's go a bit back. Okay, yeah, now it works. So you have to be really inside your map to create this canal. And now apparently I have to move the robot onto the charging station for it to recognize it. Let's do that. Okay, yeah, well, that's it. I hope. I do not see any verification here on the map, on the app, that the robot is charging. Is it? Okay, so that's it. The robot was not completely straight in the charging station. I turned it a little bit and now we can see also a charging indicator on the station itself and hopefully also in the app. Yeah. Now we have a charging animation here on the app as well. So let's see what happens if I now start mowing this first test zone. And to do that, I will now just click mowing. So far, the robot doesn't seem to have a problem with this very confined space where I put the charging station, but let's see. Okay. Now it's adjusting the height of the blades. I believe I set it to 6 centimeters or something like that. That looks quite high. I don't know, is this correct? Ah, the wheels are actually coming down now, and I guess this is the actual height adjustment. Yes. So this is now the height. Bam. And the robot immediately crashes into the wall. That confined space, into the stone. Oh my god. And of course left a big hole in the ground.
Lawnmower starting now.
Aha. Well. Ah. Ooh. So let me move away a bit from the lawnmower because it is quite noisy and it is Sunday. So I will not do this for too long here to not annoy my neighbors more than necessary. But let's see how the mower is doing. So far it looks interesting. So what I already noticed is that the mower is not one-to-one tracing the edges like I did. So it seems to be a bit further away actually. I don't know if that's a feature or if you can control that. We will do a little bit of more in-depth look at all the mowing functions and setup later. But so far out of the box, I mean, apart from the problem with the docking station, it seems to be doing a good job. Now, okay, so this is something I actually forgot. As you can see, I have essentially a no-go zone here. And I don't want the mower, of course, to run over this metal piece. So that's why I just hit the stop button to quickly do this exclusion zone so it doesn't run over it. Okay, this worked nice, I think. So now we have this exclusion zone. It can run a little bit over this metal plate, but I want to avoid that it hits here this thing that looks up, because that could, I think, easily destroy the blade and the robot. So let's see what happens if I'm in the way. Will the mower see that I'm there, or will it just run me over? Oh, we might actually...
Internal error.
So it stopped, that's great. But, you know, this machine immediately stopped for good with an internal error. Yeah, I think there's some software tweaking to be done. Let's see how I can fix this. So this error is actually quite interesting. It's an obstacle avoidance detection error. So it says here obstacle was detected in your mowing zone. Please verify the presence of this obstacle. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, if there's an obstacle, I want the robot to go around the obstacle and not shut down completely. Let me check if that's a setting I forgot to activate or if that's a real issue with this machine. So I was not able to find a setting or something within the lawnmower that allows me to have some kind of influence on the settings, how it behaves with obstacles. It's actually the case that I had to go into the map setting and had to click clear error. Then it automatically now restarted the mowing.
Robot internal error.
So I wanted to bring the robot back to the charging station, and as you can see, it did not use the path I chose for it. It actually chose to try to ride up the stone. Tried it 2-3 times, then stopped, and again robot internal error. Yeah. So as you can see, I cleared the stone and that piece of the wall that was broken off now to make it a little bit easier for the robot. It's really not hesitating, huh? Yeah, I think that works already much better. Let's see how it will behave when it's undocking. And if we will have continued problems with its digging up its ground there. Docking procedure is quite slow. I have no comparison, of course. And I mean, who's in a hurry here? But it's taking its time here. Now we can see that it started, and also on the docking station itself there is this charging animation. But we can see, I think the area here just in front of the robot will always be a little bit dug up. For me that's really not a problem because there was no grass growing before. Just to keep that in mind. If you have really soft grounds, this might get muddy.
Attention, lawnmower starting now.
Now everybody buys this type of robot because it's very good with steep inclines. And this is of course what we have to test. This is the reason I was supporting this Kickstarter campaign to have the robot with those tank-like chains. And to get to the upper part of my terrain, I have two choices. I have this choice here, which on first sight looks very good, but there are a lot of stones there, which I'm not sure if that's so good for the robot to go over. Or there is this way through. This looks much more closed on the video as it really is. I need to cut this a little bit free, but this is this nice slope that is there are no stones. So I will try to now create a channel from our test map to the upper part of the territory to do a little bit of real action there. Yeah, really no problem. But actually one thing that I noticed, so I created the canal, but I'm not allowed to create a canal into nothing. So I have to create a map first up there and then combine those two maps with a canal. I think that's okay, but it's nice to know in the beginning, I think. So as you can see, the robot is now in our test zone. I created a small map for the upper area and then I was able to create a canal. And now let's see what happens if I just want to mow the upper zone. I can select that and then say mow.
Starting mowing now.
So the robot's now trying to go through the channel. I hope it does not see this little branch as an obstacle and will end with an internal error. No, very good. So this is really easy for this machine. And this is already quite steep here. You can see this is quite steep here. So you see the tree, which is more or less straight. It's leaning a little bit to the downhill. This is the actual steepness here. I do not have the impression that this is any kind of challenge for this lawnmower. So from this perspective, this is really unbeatable on the market. Now we come to some obstacles, no problem. Now we have a branch. No problem. So I know you can set the direction it will mow the zone in the app, which I think is really something I should optimize, especially here on those slopes. I think this diagonal pattern up that it's doing now is not the best for the turning, and also, as you can see, the mowing height, it's coming up quite a lot. The blades are coming up quite a lot when it goes uphill. And as you can see here, for example, turning around on the hill is sometimes a bit struggling here. But it always, so far, it never got stuck. So I believe if we would mow more horizontally on the vertical slope, so to say, so from left and right and not from up and down, I think that would maybe be easier for the robot. So my first impressions here from the Lymow, it is the beast that everybody thinks or everybody says it is. There is honestly no obstacle that can hold this thing up. It's extremely terrain worthy. Software issues, yeah, I think they're still there. The software, the interface is a bit clunky here and there. As you saw, the obstacle avoidance is working. But what's the point if I always have to say manually that yes, this was an obstacle, please continue? That's of course not really good, but that should be an easy fix with software. Now we can see the machine here returning to the docking station. I'm down now to 20 or so %. I mapped the full upper part of my terrain now. Which of course this takes time because you have to do it manually with your phone, but it's really satisfying to see when the machine just rolls over branches that are on the floor. So it's really like seen in other YouTube videos that this thing is an absolute beast when it comes to terrain worthiness. So the Lymow is now returning to its charging station. The 100 watt supplier is connected to it. And I checked it before, it also pulls 103 watts of charging power. As I said before, this is the one I will go with for now. And you see, the nice roof that we built. Lymow One is very protected here, and I will go into more depth, in-depth review when it comes to the software, where, as you saw before, I'm not really happy with, and the obstacle avoidance. I will contact Lymow to see if that's a user error here or just a feature error. Stay tuned. Until next time at Feast Tool Time.